We are live right now. Hello.
In person.
In person.
Look.
Oh my God.
Look, that's how you know we're actually in person and not.
This is not remote.
Not Zoom call like they always are.
Not Unreal Engine. So yeah, this is happening right now.
Definitely not
Unreal Engine. I mean, it's a little unreal that I'm in town right now in the same place. Unpredicted, not scheduled. Welcome to Tabletop Tuesday. It is Curtis.
Actually, on a Tuesday.
Like
usually
a real
record
Tuesday.
on a Wednesday and release the following Tuesday. So this is surreal.
A little bit.
I'm Dan, by the way. Curtis surprised me with this. By the way, I was at Disneyland yesterday, and got a message in text. Oh, by the way, Tabletop Tuesday will be live tomorrow. Even Jeff was on my side saying, "Wait, what? Really? Are you messing with Dan?" No, we're actually live. So.
No, I find that the best way to move forward is to ask forgiveness and not permission. So yeah, and since
true.
There are a series of circumstances that led to this situation happening. One, the fact that I'm in town unexpectedly. Two, the fact that the tremendous storms that raged in Southern California washed away a good part of Dan's apartment, making it impossible for us to record.
I was about to correct you, but print the legend as we've said.
We will not have floating hashtags under us today either. You're just going to have to remember
and just imagine it. Use your mind's eye. Yeah. So my apartment has been under reconstruction for the last several days. So we didn't have anywhere to record.
We didn't
for our thing. So we are here. If you notice the really neat background that we're in front of, we are at Geeky Teas and Games in Burbank, California, and this is their private room. You can come here and pay $10 a person and use the room for whatever you want. They've got blinds on the curtains, so if you want privacy, you can shut out the rest of the store. The store is like right there, so if you hear other people talking, that's just shoppers and other people playing games and having fun. So it's a really neat environment. But this room I think is usually used for Dungeons and Dragons.
It would make sense because all of my equipment is resting on old school Dungeons and Dragons books from second ed.
They've got a bunch of old Dwarven Forge. Look at this stuff.
Check out this Dungeon Master's Guide from AD&D second edition. By the way, hello Jeff Garvin in the chat.
This old resin Dwarven Forge stuff like that we used to own. Actually, in fact,
we had the cavern set.
We sold all of it.
We sold all.
This might be it. We should have carved our initials in the bottom,
and then we'd know for sure.
We would see. But
look at this. Check out this second edition Player's Handbook.
Yeah.
Woo. And then check this out. Actually, no, this is the new one. Never mind. You've already seen that one. And we do have live chat going on in. We do have live chat happening right now. Right now, fellow old man Jeff Garvin is in the chat. So
is he?
Big ups to the Garvin. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. And yeah, we've got the show that you were originally going to watch today, except it's happening live right now. And then record next week's show tomorrow.
After tea.
Oh, geez.
I'm kidding. I don't have to.
I was going to say.
I'm giving you a hard time because
I had to.
Because you had to 3 minutes before we started.
Honestly, I just wanted to make it work. Speaking of fluid, what are you drinking?
Well, respecting the no alcoholic beverages in the store policy, I have a Starbucks. It's a mocha.
Just standard old mocha?
Just a mocha.
Do you do any specialty milks?
No whipped cream because I'm watching my figure.
Excellent.
No specialty. No, I just make it how you make it.
Okay.
So I'm also exhausted because I was at Disneyland yesterday. Also, because of the whole apartment thing, we had to get up super early and be out of the apartment so that construction workers could come in with hammers and things and start making a lot of noise. So I'm so tired. I am so tired. And so I just needed something to wake me up. Need the caffeine.
Excellent.
What is that?
This is a Thai iced tea
thing that you're drinking there.
Thai iced tea.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't mean to offend any Thai viewers that we might have.
This before I did the show today, I met up with a friend of mine, Nate Richard, who was on Sabrina the Teenage Witch with me, and we did some pho for lunch.
Pho. Yeah.
Some pho.
Mm-hmm.
And it
never
was
had
wonderful. Really?
Never had pho.
Oh, it's delightful. It is
sure.
South
I don't know
Asian ramen soup.
I don't know a single person who's ever had pho and told me that I should not have it because I would not enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean,
need to rectify.
I feel like that's going to have to be. Check out next week when we take Dan
live from a pho restaurant.
We're going to go to a pho restaurant so we can check things out. Itwill be great. And then we'll show off us on the street.
I feel like I need to be
closer.
I mean, I don't want to be that close to you, but I feel like
we're cuddling.
Now you ruined it.
Okay. Anyway,
you made it weird.
How was the rest of your week, though? Other than the fact that they're tearing up down your apartment.
Yeah.
And,
well, Disneyland was super fun yesterday.
That's good.
It's the first time I've been in a long time. I went with my wife and our best friend John. We've been friends since high school. No, we've been friends since college. We've been friends since high school. And we went to California Adventure first.
Nice.
The way our reservations worked was you had to go to California Adventure. Well, you didn't have to, but you could go to California Adventure first until 1 p.m.
And then you could switch.
I'm not explaining this well. It doesn't mean they kick you out at 1 p.m.
No.
It just means that at 1 p.m. you then have the opportunity to go to Disneyland,
right?
If you wanted to. So we got there at opening and immediately ran to the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which used to be, for those of you, for those of you, I'm speaking too quickly is the problem. My brain got ahead of my mouth. We're
doing great.
So for those of you familiar with Disneyland and the old Twilight Zone Tower of Terror ride, that they lost the license to the Twilight. You're about to correct me. I'm not gonna state fact.
They didn't lose it yet, but it is
okay. Well, anyway, they chose then to swap that ride into a Guardians of the Galaxy themed thing. So it is still a free fall ride like Twilight Zone Tower of Terror was.
Yes.
But it's just themed with Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was fun. That kind of ride I get a lot of anxiety about. Although when I'm on it, I'm enjoying it.
That is built in as part of the ride, to build that kind of anxiety.
But like all morning, I had irpsy tummy. I woke up and I was just like, am I ill? What is going? No, I was just really freaking anxious because I knew that we were going to go on that ride. We did it very first thing, like within 20 minutes of us entering the park, we were done. And that was the best.
Right away again?
No, we went to the Incredicoaster and Web Slingers and other stuff.
Did you get your arm workout for
But
Web
it was
Slingers?
totally fun. Oh, Web Slingers, yeah. It's just I'm really scared you're going to knock that Thai iced tea over.
No, I've got spider senses. All over it, missing it.
Anyhow, yeah, that was.
This is why we're not allowed to record in the same room. I make him anxious with beverages.
I'm an anxious person.
Yeah,
man.
Well, that's nice. That's good.
I've had doctors tell me,
"Oh,
you need to like chill out." I'm like, "Doctor, am I drinking too much?" He's like, "No, you're not drinking enough."
There you go. Hashtag functional.
They
alcoholic.
would prescribe marijuana, but I hate the smell.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like that's a pretty heavy. That's a lot going on this week.
Yeah. What about you? Aside from being down here, which.
Well,
why are you down here? That was a surprise.
My wife and I bought a car from her brother, and we needed to come down to pick it up. So originally, this trip was going to be a turnaround trip. We were going to fly down, pick up the car, and drive back up.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're aware, but the airline industry has been having a bit of a kerfuffle.
Good word.
And
that is a very conservative word.
I am trying to be polite because it's a family show.
Yeah, there's another word
that could 100% fit for this.
And I'm not talking about the delicious ramen dish that you were talking about.
I hear you.
That's a different
So our situation changed, and instead of flying down, we decided to drive down. But if we're going to drive down, we have to bring the dog. So we rented a car, brought the dog, drove down, and we were still planning on pretty much staying for a couple days just to see Renee's family because her mom's birthday is happening, and we wanted to see our littlest niece. So we were going to spend just a couple days with them and then immediately turn around and go back. And that was not what we did. Instead, we were like, we're down here now. We would like to see some people. And so we're going to stay a little bit longer. And then that got extended again a little bit longer. And now we're leaving Friday.
This Friday.
Okay.
So you got another most of a week
couple days
to go.
And we're trying to make the most of it.
And following you on Instagram, I'm seeing that you are seeing a lot of people.
We are seeing a lot of people.
There's a lot of people.
I will tell you this, for somebody who is very nervous about being in public for the existing pandemic that, depending on what part of the country you're in, is ignored. It's been a little nerve-wracking, but I'm waxed, vaxxed, and ready to relax. So
that is a T-shirt right there.
That is it. And we mask and we test a lot. And we were also in the park on Saturday. So we've decided that if we're gonna get it, I guess this is gonna be the week. So we're just prepping. But so far, everybody seems to be happy and healthy.
Nice attitude. Yeah, we're a little concerned.
Yeah,
given that we were at Disneyland yesterday. But
I have noticed that in Portland, most people still mask everywhere, so we feel
not
pretty
at
safe.
Disneyland.
Not in California.
Hardly anyone now.
Yeah, but I don't want to get too deep into that because it just gets.
That's not what this is about.
That is not what this is
about. This is not Pandemic Tuesday. This is Tabletop Tuesday.
Tabletop Tuesday. In fact, I think this is a wonderful segue into our first thing, our weekly progress. No games for old men. So, Dan, how's your progress going with your new magnifying lamp?
Well, I don't know if I've told you, but my apartment is being reconstructed. Everything from the bedroom and closets, which is considerable because we've been there for 15 years, is in the living room, including the bed. So there's literally nowhere to walk. We just kind of hop everywhere, like from one piece of open carpet to the next.
Okay.
There's nowhere to paint. I don't have anywhere to paint. I plugged in the lamp once and I turned it on
just to make sure it works.
And the light turned on.
That's good.
And I could see a miniature at a 2.25 magnification.
How did that look?
Properly?
Like just seeing it in general. How did that look to you?
Fine, but I can tell. I also took a paintbrush and just kind of like pretended like I was painting to see how it feels with the brain and the tummy. And I can tell it's going to take some adjustment, but I can do it.
Nice.
I have it. I own it now. So if I don't use it, that's on me.
That's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you. If nothing else, at least it's another angle of light.
Yeah. So we have been asking our apartment management, when is this going to be done? And they said, well, on Monday, they're going to come back and start construction. And then like maybe 5 days after that, you'll be able to return your life to normal. Today's Tuesday. Yeah. We got back home we spent the night down in Anaheim so that we wouldn't have to be up early in the morning today to let construction people into the apartment. We'll just let the maintenance guys do that. Yeah. No one's been in our apartment. No one's done anything.
Oh, that's not good. Well, that's not good at all.
So I emailed them and I'm like, what's going on? And I haven't heard back from them. So I don't know when I'll be able to continue painting.
This is a definitive progress impediment.
Yes. Yeah. There are significant threshold guardians involved in my attempts to continue painting.
And to understand that reference, please make sure that you're subscribed to the Hero's Journey podcast at Hero Journeys.
That is not at all
what
correct.
What is your
Hero
email
Journeys?
address?
What's the matter with you?
No,
Hero's Journey podcast. Just any podcast app has it.
And it'll be in
Audible, Spotify as well.
It'll be in the description when I manage to add all of our other links in the description besides what's in there right now. It should be, something is already in there.
I'm typing. This is me typing.
Don't type on the thing.
Don't do it.
Oh, I can't look at it right now.
Don't touch it because you're going to accidentally
shut everything down. Then it's all over.
You're going to hit the hot spot thing,
and then it's all going
to. And I've noticed Jeff hasn't had anything to say, so I don't know if we've lost connection and we don't know it.
There's at least 2 people watching right now, and somebody likes what we're doing.
Do we know? Oh, thank Jeff.
Yeah,
thanks.
Appreciate
for the
it.
Up.
Appreciate it. And if it wasn't Jeff, please let us know in the chat that it was you. Wait, what happened?
Damn it, Jeff. Screen went dark for 14 minutes. What happened?
We're good to go. I actually made a little bit of progress before we left.
And
so I am now in the batch painting and completing the batch of the foot soldiers. We did stay longer than I intended. So my schedule was laid out with the intent of being back last weekend. And so that's going to set me back a few days. But overall, I think this commission is going to be done PDQ. I can't say before the end of the month because we're going to get back on the 29th. But by I think, Ian, you should have a package in the mail in early February, which is great.
You just set yourself a hard deadline.
Yeah.
Just now.
That's how comfortable I feel with that. With that prediction.
Okay.
Because everything is moving very quickly. He approved the thing. We've got hair colors selected. The process of painting is going very smoothly with very few corrections so far required. So I'm really pleased with how that's working out. And it was a really nice break to paint a fantasy mini after doing 40K minis for months and months and months and months straight.
Years even, perhaps? When was the last time you actually painted a fantasy mini
Last year. No, it was 2021 when I painted a new D&D character.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a cleric, and he had blue armor and cream-colored robes.
Okay.
He also had a magical blue fire effect.
This was obviously not for a game that we are involved in.
It is not.
Because I don't know who this cleric is. We have not been acquainted.
Yeah, he's a cleric. I forget who his god is, but his name is Ivan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. And that is our weekly progress. So if I had known that we were going to try and do something live, this would actually be through OBS, and we would be streaming through that instead, and we'd be able to pop in all the little things.
So we don't have a slideshow.
We don't have a slideshow.
Thing I noticed.
We don't have.
Really missing out on that.
We don't have our bumpers. We don't have access. We could throw like lower thirds and stuff in. However,
doing it live.
If you like this, if us being in the same room together, completely unedited, is something that you're down for, let me know and I'll actually do the work to do the OBS stuff. Because otherwise I'm not going to waste my time.
Well, this isn't going to happen again until you're down in the summer, right?
You mean in 6 weeks?
That's summer.
It's not. It's March.
Spring.
It's spring.
The
spring has sprung.
Well, down here it'll be summer.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
Jeff says he likes it, but his equalizers haven't caught up yet because he has Spectrum.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So he's not actually seeing the real.
No.
Once. Yeah.
He's got a 7-second delay. We
Right.
could swear and he wouldn't know about it.
At least.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah. Okay.
So now it's time for other tabletop things. No games for old men. All right. So Jeff is distracting in the chat.
Thanks for participating, Jeff.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
By the way, for those of you who are watching this later or have seen any of the other episodes, all that music that we use for the bumpers composed and performed by Jeff Garvin. So thank you, Jeffy Pants.
That link is down below and you can look at it right now. One of the benefits of us doing this show live this week is the fact that we can actually talk about news as it's happening as opposed to a week later.
True. The whole thing about the OGL that we talked about, and then suddenly January 12th came along and you were like, oh, well, some of that's been dealt with now. So we have to put a little lower third saying, we recorded this last week before all that happened.
And to be honest, we're continuing that conversation today because the OGL news just keeps coming out. And
what's to talk about?
Well, actually, kind of an interesting set of things that are in the zeitgeist beyond just Dungeons and Dragons. So there is now an open license that a variety of independent and smaller RPG producers are signing on to, which is a perpetual open license for their game systems. So it's become kind of like a open source or a common. Oh no, common. What's it called? Creative Commons.
Creative Commons. Wow, you and I came to that at the exact same moment.
Yeah, that we're thinking. So it's an open license thing, so people can create for a variety of games now under a perpetual open license, and you don't just need to be stuck in D&D.
This is a gaming license being developed by somebody else. This is not Hasbro now saying, "Oh well, never mind. Well, you can do this now." This is someone else going, "All right, fine. We'll create our own gaming license." And everyone who is operating under gaming license 1.0 is going, "Ooh, maybe we'll do that instead because it gives us." We can continue our freedom of creation without having to.
Exactly. Well, and it's like Pathfinder. It's new games being created by Cobalt Press. It's all these game creators who are just like, well, you've used our system, so if you want to write something for it now under this open license, you can go ahead, write all your stuff. That's what is going on. Cool. And one of the memes that's going around is that Hasbro has managed to do what dungeon masters across the country have been trying to do for 20 years, and that is get their players to try new games. And so the number of new tabletop role-playing games that are actually being tried out now by groups around the country is pretty expansive. And so we won't just be the old guys talking about these weird games we used to play. People are actually going to start playing these things.
A whole new generation of players are discovering GURPS now.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people actually talking about doing Cyberpunk 2077 now, which is, or Cyberpunk Red, which is the updated version of Cyberpunk.
Yeah. That Shadowrun again. I think we talked about these before.
Yeah.
But right outside, while I was waiting for you to arrive today, I just wandered around the game store out here. There are so many role-playing games I didn't even know existed.
Right?
There's a Dark Souls role-playing game.
I did not know that.
What?
That's pretty cool.
I love the Dark Souls game. I'm awful at it. No, I'm not going to play it on the channel because it would be so frustrating for you to watch. We would lose all of our subscribers.
Yeah.
But it's fun for me. It's a super, super crazy challenge video game. I don't know how you turn that into a role-playing
game. They also turned it into a tabletop skirmish game where you fight things and bosses.
That could be interesting, but I don't know why you need that. Why is that needed? There's other fantasy, I don't know. Maybe if you just like the lore.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of people follow the IP.
That follows the conversation we were having a couple of weeks ago about the kinds of game systems you like to play and what gets you into those game systems. Sure, you could play Warcry, or you could play Hero Quest, or the best thing about Hero Quest, watch that guy's video. It's hilarious.
I will pop a link down to his Bardic.
And no, what was I talking about? Other game systems. But okay, so you could play all those other skirmish fantasy themed game systems, but if you are a massive Dark Souls fan, sure. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and I want to play that game. There's also a Witcher role-playing game.
Yes.
System.
Yeah.
I dig The Witcher. I mean, you don't have to be Geralt of Rivia. There's all kinds of different Witchers. There's like
you don't even have to be a Witcher, though. You could also just be a hunter or a fighter. Well,
yeah,
I'm using general phrases, but like you could be a magic user.
You could be a person with a sword, or you could be a woman with pitchfork.
Woman who makes magic.
Yes.
Yeah. Witcher. Good grief. Jeff is just dying here in the chat today. Just dropping the one-liners.
He's adding. Yeah. He's creating the.
Jeff, you're right. They did put the bro in Hasbro. We are not going to play Dark Souls starts Wednesday, unless you're going to do it, buddy. And then Witcher, the Sandwich Witcher.
He's working. Jeff is working on another Let's Play.
Is he really?
Yes. He's doing a different one.
Oh, you don't say. Oh, is it time to promote that yet?
No, okay. Because once I'm done with Vampire, then I'm going to do another one.
Okay.
And then if he's ready to start releasing, we'll do his. And if he's not, then I'll just do another one after that. So I'll just keep plugging along until he's ready to go. Because
he's about to check out and record some of that
he's
new
about to check out and record some. No, you're not. No, you're not. So anyway, I feel like I derailed the conversation, but maybe not because I brought it back around.
It is related because one of the neat things that's going on right now is that people are kind of open to the magical sway that so many larger entertainment corporations held over the masses is starting to crack. Disney lost a little bit of what they call the magic under Chapek's time. And a lot of the things that people like to connect to, all of a sudden they weren't connecting to. We saw that with the degrade of the theme parks. We saw that with the way he was pushing things from Disney Plus onto Hulu, or making them, just the moves of entertainment projects.
Yeah.
And then Hasbro really stepped in a big old pile of stinky poo when they decided to set up a contract that was going to make it so that they could steal and bilk a creative community out of everything that they were doing. And Games Workshop just kind of lives in that world of abusive significant other, where they just keep raising prices and they keep dropping the ball, and yet we keep going back over and over and over again.
That's the market.
Yeah.
If customers are willing to pay, then as a corporation that's trying to get rich, you keep raising prices until people stop playing your game.
But it shouldn't have to be that way.
I know.
It shouldn't have to be that way. And I'm kind of, as we see these younger generations pop up with the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha children are like feral.
Gen Alpha?
Yeah, those are the ones that are under 10. They like catch wild animals. There's an entire sub. They do. If you go on TikTok and you look up feral Gen Alpha, you will see it's just a collection of videos of them catching wild animals and just being like, this is my pet possum.
Don't ever say, if you go on TikTok, to me, because that ain't never going to happen.
And that's why this channel is called No Games for Old Men.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't need your ticks and your talks.
Are you still on Facebook?
No, I'm not even on Facebook.
Well, that's good.
I'm not on anything except Instagram.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like you're
I like
only
taking
on Instagram.
pictures of my books.
Yeah.
Book Thump. Follow me.
It's actually in the doobly-doo.
Is it in the doobly-doo?
Okay, well, I
haven't got any followers from it, so
okay.
Actually, I think I did actually. So thanks to those one or two people. I appreciate that. Thanks for the follow. Stop laughing at me.
It's okay.
Talk. Speak.
So
we only have the room till 6:30.
We only have until 6:30.
Keep it moving.
But we are already working away into GURPS for our next tabletop campaign.
Yeah.
But has this move from Hasbro or any of the other independent companies that are kind of popping up right now, has it intrigued you about what you want to do after we do GURPS? Like, are you looking forward to another fantasy setting? Are you starting to think, hey, maybe we should try something really new? Like, has this had any effect on you other than we've had to talk about it for the show?
No, and I'm sorry if that disappoints you. I really don't. I understand the outrage. I get it. But I feel like I'm so far away from it. Aside from just being a player of D&D, and that campaign's over. So I'm not even playing a role-playing game right now. So And if we were to be jumping right back into another Dungeons and Dragons campaign, I mean, we would be using Roll20. Now, how the new OGL affects Roll20 and what they're allowed to have in their service now, because we've paid for the books, the 5e book, at least the 3 core ones, in Roll20. So what happens to those with this? I don't know. I don't know that I need the answer right now, but do you know the answer?
It looks like they're going to stick. It looks like they're going to be able to hold on to that.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, if Roll20 were to say, they're making us deactivate those books for you because they're not covered by the new OGL, then I would be really disappointed, and maybe I would think, okay, let's explore other options, because the way D&D is being managed does not agree with me ideologically. So, but for right now, if y'all say we're gonna do, after this GURPS, we're gonna do Cyberpunk, I'd be like, okay, that's fine.
I think a lot of players are actually kind of in the situation that you're in. There's certainly what I think is the correct outrage to the way things were handled. But I think when all is said and done, I don't really know how affected the average player is going to be. If we take away the business elements of it, there are still plenty of people playing this version of Dungeons and Dragons, period.
In fact, fellow old man Scott would prefer that we return to that.
He just really likes calculating FACO. He
does. Big fan of tables and spreadsheets, apparently, to play a game.
Yeah.
And that's why he likes in Mech Warrior. That's why he likes hanging out in the mech bay and just tweak. I'm going to take one point of armor off of my right leg and put it onto the left torso. And then he's a big fan of that kind of thing. He likes getting into that nerdy calculation stuff.
Yeah.
Which, that's fine. That's why that stuff is there. Like for me, and I think probably for Jeff, just put me in a mech and let me pull the trigger. I'm fine doing that. So I'm trying to get into the other stuff. Anyway, but that's got nothing to do with tabletop.
I mean,
games. I derailed us again.
Jeff in the chat said his obstacle for abandoning D&D is legacy identity of playing for 30 plus years.
Yes,
which is legit. Same. And then also he doesn't want to learn another system.
Right. Yes, that's kind of how I feel too. Like it's challenging. I'm already like, as I'm reading the GURPS rules, I'm like, oh, I want to play, but I'm like, it's just a whole nother thing. And then to have to, because you put so much effort into learning a game system, and trying to remember the rules, keep them in your head, so you're not wasting an hour being a rules lawyer in your book,
or just searching,
or pausing,
just checking for the back,
pausing the game. You don't want to delay the narrative too much, and then to abandon it and go to another system. And then when it's time to go back to Dungeons and Dragons, I don't really remember all that stuff now. I mean, we've been playing for 30 years, but this, we're on the 5th edition, and
we've played 3 of them.
We still
played 4.
We still start talking about 3.5 rules, attacks of opportunity and 5-foot steps and things like that. And we're like, no,
whether
that's not this system.
Cast in combat, or
that's not this system. Yeah, if you cast at adjacent to an enemy, does that provoke an attack of opportunity? It did in 3.5. I
don't think it does anymore.
I can't. Give me this book. Give me this book. Give me this book.
Nobody cares.
I'm gonna look it up while.
I actually, good grief, I actually like the rule systems. I find that they aren't that difficult to. Yeah, I said that's not provable at all. They are difficult for me to keep straight. But I enjoy reading the new systems. So, I've been reading. So I was catching up on GURPS, and admittedly, there is a lot of crunch that you can get into for GURPS, for sure.
Yeah.
But the general aspects of it are actually pretty simple. You have 2 to 3 d6. You only need to roll in a case when it has consequences, when the action would have consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's determined by the game master.
And you want to roll low. That's it.
Right.
So that's the key mechanic is D6s roll low. And let me tell you, I did my episode 0 with Scott, and I was rolling freaking Yahtzee.
Oh, no.
It was just every time. Every time. To the point where I'm pretty sure he nerfed a situation so that I would succeed because it was getting ridiculous. I only had like 2 real rolls that were genuine successes, and I've got some pretty solid stats. And then all of a sudden it was just like 18. He said if I had been rolling for D&D character stats, I would be a superhero. But yeah, it was ridiculous. I'm looking forward to. Have you scheduled yours yet?
No, I don't. No, I'm not ready yet. Jeff just said Scott's primary focus in MechWarrior 5 is making money. That's also his primary focus in life.
Yeah, he's very good at it.
That's why he's the rich one of us.
Yeah, he is indeed. He is. It works out.
Good for him.
How are you guys doing with all this OGL and game talk? I know we've had some conversations on YouTube Shorts and on Instagram and even on TikTok where people have mentioned that they are still committed to D&D, or a lot of people have moved to Pathfinder, and a lot of people are really curious about other new different role-playing games. And this is exciting for me. I'm a big proponent of advancing the idea of trying new role-playing games and things in general, even though I'm not I kind of find something that I like and stick to it. But I think it's really interesting to see this happening, because the last time I think I saw this happen was like 92.
I can't remember that far back.
Yeah, that's fair. But like I remember being in game stores and seeing these new and different, and people playing Star Wars and people playing Star Trek and people playing Rifts and all
Rifts,
those.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's a great game. That Rifts had a cover. You remember when you used to go to the video store and there'd be those certain VHS tape covers, and you'd be like, I see that one every time. I've never watched that movie, but I see that one every time I walk in. Rifts had the same kind of cover where it was like aliens jumping through a hole in space and time.
Okay.
And there would be human soldiers like running away from it. And they would be exactly like that. And every time I walked into a game store, Rifts would be there on the shelf.
They were really pushing it.
They were
right
really
there in the front.
And people who play Rifts,
front of store end cap,
they love Rifts.
Really?
Love it, love it, love it.
I never learned the system. Is it still a game? I mean, if I were to walk out, hey, Donna, do you guys have Rifts?
We could actually check.
I know. I could walk out there right now.
I know the PDF is still downloadable. I don't know if the game is still actively created and published. I know you can download the PDF though.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's an interesting time to be a gamer. Hasbro is really trying to backpedal about what they're doing. Even Games Workshop, as much as they're not necessarily reducing prices, they just increase the prices that they sell to retailers for, as opposed to raising prices on the consumer. They raise the
price,
the direct price,
the wholesale price,
yeah,
and leaving it up to the retailer to hike the price or not.
Because most retailers will sell Games Workshop products at some kind of discount, so that could be 10 to 20%.
This place does,
yeah.
I bought the Octarius box for a little less than what you see it normally.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. So that's good to know.
So another reason to come to Geeky Teas and Games, and no, they're not sponsoring this. We paid them to be in here in this room.
We did pay them to be here.
So, but they're just
yeah,
they're cool with it. So
I'm anxious to see how this all kind of shakes out. I don't think Dungeons and Dragons is all of a sudden going to become this niche game again with only like 100,000 players.
No.
But
I think it will recover.
Sure.
Sure. Largely because people like us are going to not want to let it go, because we still have 30 years of memories playing the game, and we don't want to not do that anymore.
And I'm really hoping that corporate greed doesn't try and meddle in all this again, but that, I mean, as is said in Dimension 20, the big bad evil guy in the end is always capitalism.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the topic for today, but I do want to throw in a little bonus thing because I didn't know that we were going to be doing the show today. So I brought something.
Oh, he's leaving. He's fleeing the interview. He's fleeing the interview. You're leaving me here all by myself on camera.
I know, right?
I'm anxiety. He's got a big okay. Okay.
BattleTech. What's up?
A game of armored combat.
Yes. Now, what I thought we might be able to do today was play a game. However,
I don't know the rules.
I don't either.
Well, then we're not going to waste people's time by not.
We're definitely not. But I wanted you to be able to take a look at it because MechWarrior 5 is still, something that is really exciting. And you told me yourself that you were disappointed that you didn't see the
Chicken Mech.
That you didn't get a chance to see the mechs that I had got that are outside of this box. So we're going to do a little surprise unboxing here in the episode.
Nice.
So what I've got here is the Inner Sphere direct fire lance.
Oh my God, there's nothing in it. You got ripped off.
I know, right? And I bought this because it had some very iconic mechs in it, including the Marauder 2.
Ooh.
The Marauder 2 is a new design of the Marauder.
That is head cannon with two ends.
That is head cannon with two ends. Okay, two ends.
Keep that in mind the next time.
And you know what? I'm so disappointed you guys don't have one of these yet.
What does that got? Like, we're just level 5 reputation. We're still, our heaviest mech is a Centurion still.
That is so disappointing. And
I'm disappointed in us too. But what are these others? Hang on.
I'm trying to pull out the little things that I can get the stuff right. So all of the boxes come with cards for Alpha Strike, which is a faster way to be able to play the game. It's more like a skirmish version of the game.
So
and
it's like Kill Team for BattleTech.
Kind of, sort of, and I kind of want to pick it up because I think that might be an easier way to learn. But so that was the Marauder 2.
So this is an Orion.
That is the Orion. That is correct. And it's got, what does it have? I literally don't know, because I don't know how to read these things yet. But it's a brawler.
What? A brawler?
A brawler.
Is this not a cannon here? Is this a pneumatic fist?
Honestly, don't know, because it doesn't really. I don't know how to read the. Don't know how to read the thing yet. This is
America's school system has failed us.
Is this a Crusader?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Crusader.
That's a neat looking one.
Yeah.
I like that one. Is that the one that's on the box lid?
It is not.
Kind of looks like the one.
The one that's on the box lid is a Battle Master.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the one that runs the battle.
Honestly, it kind of feels like how they play it. Yeah. I don't know if that's accurate, but yeah. And then this one also comes with an Atlas.
That's an Atlas.
The Atlas was a poster boy for BattleTech way back in the day.
His face, looks like a chaplain helmet from Warhammer 40,000.
It's also
they've got the skull mask on their helmet too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And this is also the symbol for mercenaries. Is an Atlas face.
It is? I don't even think I've paid any attention to it.
Yeah.
But it's also on the side of the box.
It is on the side of the box. And in addition to that, for regular MechWarrior, a Battle of Armor Combat, you also get, you get 2 each. I didn't know that there were different pilots on each side. You get pilot cards to use with your stuff. And these pilots have more, have advanced Yeah, you get 2 for each.
They're heroes
for each mech. Yeah, they're
Are
heroes
they hero
for your
pilots?
stuff. Yeah.
Are they part of the lore?
Yes.
Like, is there is there an Alexander Arcadia? There's going to be people who
are correcting you right
perhaps
now,
at some point. They're like, Diego Fernandez, that one I can pronounce.
Yep. Jimmy J.
Lee. Colonel from House Merrick. Okay, so hero mechs.
So these are pretty exciting. I'm really looking forward to this. As far as like just I'm started getting into the lore, and we've had people telling us about how exciting the lore is and how they're really committed to it. But it is easy to get into. It is pretty engaging. And I watched Guerrilla Mini Games.
Would you like some help?
Yeah. I watched Guerrilla Mini Games play a game of BattleTech just to see how it plays, and they had all the character names for all of their pilots, and like they had histories with all of it, and they had a rivalries between everybody. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I look forward to doing that with yours as well.
I thought this was a rule book. No, this is like a little short story.
It is. And apparently I just found out that all of these box sets are designed to be purchased one after another. So this is a continuation of the story that's in the beginner's box.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you want the whole story.
Now again, this comes with the Alpha Strike cards and the pilot cards. And this is the Inner Sphere Command Lance. Oh, there's the Atlas symbol. Atlas symbol from the bottom of mine. And this is my baby.
Oh,
this is my baby. This is an old school style Marauder.
Yeah.
Right out of Robotech. Just, what is it about a pod with a couple of gun arms and a giant head gun? It just makes it so freaking cool. What is it? I don't know. I don't know, but I love this thing.
It looks like there's a face on the back. Doesn't it look like a face?
Hello, I'm a sad alien. Hello. Yeah, it does look like a face. It looks like one of the fish aliens from Men in Black.
Yeah.
And then, honest to God, I've never even looked at these other ones. Is this a Commando? No, this is a Valkyrie. Valkyrie.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at you. Check you out. Wow. What's up with that back? Yeah.
Is there another face on it?
There's not another face on it. But it does have antenna. Do you see? It's got antenna. And then we've got a where are you? Archer.
Archangel. Oh, Archer.
No, Archer.
Okay.
Archer, and he's got the missile pods.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. He's got some fists. He's got guns on his fists.
I think Scott said he got an Archer mech in his single player campaign. Well, we did play a little bit of it. We did play a little bit of it in yesterday's Mech Warrior Monday, but so he said he got an Archer mech, I think.
These are pretty cool.
Really liked it.
Yeah. It's a cool looking thing. I mean, you can tell why the commanders will run something like this.
Right. And not a Centurion. Like a chump.
Yeah.
That's all I got though.
This is a Stinger.
Who's that little guy?
Stinger.
I like his. He kind of looks like a Tau.
Right.
With the Pathfinder almost, but in a different designed battle suit.
And 30 meters tall. I do like that they were all in scale with each other.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to
neat
putting these.
So Inner Sphere, Direct Fire Lance, and Command Lance.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't. Oh no.
Idiot.
I just spilled. I was an idiot, and I pitched them forward, and I spilled them all over the place. Good work, Curtis. Good work.
You're distracted.
I am. But yeah, I'm excited to be able to do something with these guys. I think this will be neat.
I'm sure there's a lot of those.
There are a bunch of these boxes. So I bought these only because they had Marauders in them. Because they're a favorite of mine, but I'm not buying any more until I figure out like what mechs I want. Because there's a catapult. That's a catapult.
That's a neat looking
Yeah.
design. No arms.
No
punching. No
doesn't
punching.
need it because he's got nothing but rockets.
If you're close enough to need to punch, then you've already lost.
Right.
With that guy.
Right.
Very cool, man.
So that's
Neato
exciting.
Speedo. All right, so it's a bonus.
And so there we go. And that is other tabletop things. Oh, you got water too.
I brought water, of course.
That was a smart idea. I didn't bring it because I didn't want to be on the freeway for 4 hours and then all of a sudden have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be conservative about my consumption of it so that I don't have to, because we're not editing this. I can't get up in the middle of it.
No, we gotta just keep this going.
Sit here and wet myself.
It will add to the tension of the episode that at any moment,
when I start doing the pee-pee dance here in my chair and my face turns bright red and that vein in my forehead pops out, then you'll know we're about to have a situation.
He's just gonna have to open the cup under the table and just fill it back up.
Gross.
Speaking of filling it back up, let's talk about stuff we're hyped about.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we have the same thing this week.
We do have the same thing this week, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, I know.
Because
we've been hinting it.
We've been back and forth about it on our chatty apps.
Yeah.
So what is it that you're hyped about this week, Dan?
Hello Kitty Island Adventure has a The Last of Us on HBO.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good show.
I was so impressed with episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal, I think, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
The filmmakers, the whole creative team. It looks like a really well produced. I don't know how much money's behind it, but it looks like they're funding the show in a way,
money on it.
In a way that other recent series on other channels have not been funded as well,
or at least not maybe spent as efficiently or well. Because some of the shows we didn't like were very expensive.
Well, this is one. Well, like what?
Well, I don't want to call anything out in particular. Like
Chicken.
The Circle of Time.
Oh, I liked that one. Okay,
yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm specifically talking about. Okay, my wife is a big Mayfair Witches fan.
Oh, yeah.
The books.
She
watched part of episode 1 of the new series, and she was like, "This looks awful."
It was a rough pilot,
but
it was a rough pilot. Renee is also a fan.
There's some visual effects that looked like they were maybe temporary, didn't get redone,
but not a problem for The Last of Us. That's for sure.
But no. The Last of Us. I guess that's what I shouldn't be trashing other shows, because there are teams of people who doing
their darndest,
do that work, and they're doing the best that they can with the budget they have, and sometimes
the time they're given.
And I know that in a lot of cases that stuff just doesn't work out the way they want to work out, but they're still, you still need to be proud of the work that you're doing. So I shouldn't be trashing shows. That's not what we're about here.
But The Last of Us
was really good. Played the game. Okay, now the game is 10 years old now. Came out in summer of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I played it immediately as I possibly could. Really enjoyed it. Couldn't play it again because it was so emotionally heavy.
Did you play Last of Us 2?
No, I haven't played that yet.
Okay. That one is a trip. That one I watched like a movie on YouTube.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, did you watch someone do a Let's Play?
Yeah.
Or you watched the cutscenes?
I watched somebody play it, but they played it silently and just captured the
commentary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just the game.
Do you wish I would do that with Vampire?
No, not at all. No, I require your commentary because I need to know that you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Otherwise, I'll just verbally abuse you through the screen. But yeah, but it was really neat to
verbally abuse me in person too.
I mean, that's different. At least you're there.
30 years.
30 years. We know each other a long time.
So,
but it was neat because it played like an animated film that had these extended combat sequences.
And that is, I think, what makes the game such a good subject for adaptation to a filmed entertainment product, because the game itself was so cinematic. Naughty Dog did a fantastic job with that game. I mean, there's a reason it was Game of the Year on other planets, even, because it was so skillfully done. And Neil Druckmann, who was the creative director, game director, whatever, for the game, he directed episode 2 of the show.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Which I have not seen yet. Okay, well, I was afraid you were about to spoil for me, because I see in the tabs here, Last of Us episode 2 breakdown.
I am saving that for after I watch the episode, because I didn't want to lose it in my subscription feed.
They have a search here.
Here
you search.
I don't want to do that.
And then you just type in Last of Us.
I really thought I was going to watch it really fast. I thought I was going to go and then I was going to be able to watch it, but that didn't happen.
That's something my mom would do. Yeah. She would print the internet.
Well, I'm not going to.
I have to save this because I'll never be able to find it again.
I also have, just so you can see here, Dan, I also have a completely separate tab open that is just for when I'm painting. These are just really long videos that I haven't gotten around to yet that I watch when I'm painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody else saw that.
I noticed Hero's Journey podcast was not listed there.
That's because I listened to that on my phone.
I'm kind of.
You guys don't do a video podcast, so I just listen to it on.
How are you watching something if you're painting? You can't.
Every once in a while, I kind of
look up.
Yeah. Here's the secret. I don't actually look at my minis when I paint them. That's why I can't do a painting tutorial on the channel, because I paint like this.
Well, they look remarkably good for that kind of.
If I look at them, it screws them up.
Painting style.
It's Schrodinger's minis. They are both painted and unpainted until you observe them. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Other thoughts about The Last of Us?
I've never.
Given that neither of us have watched episode 2 yet.
I came to this series completely blank, because I did not know. I knew the general story of the first game, but never watched, never played, never knew anything about it.
But you watched part 2.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I can compartmentalize. I'm not. I understand formula. I understood that the first game was a lone wolf and cub style journey across the country with an older hero and a younger apprentice, and that eventually there's always going to be the choice at the end of the hero having to acknowledge the reported good that would go along with sacrificing the apprentice, or giving in to the emotion that they feel for the apprentice. This is a formulaic story. It's been told a lot. It's how the Mandalorian is able to succeed so well. It's a lot of Japanese storytelling. Like, I get the formula. So what was interesting to me about the second game was how it completely flipped end over end the expectations that were given to the player who had played the first game. So I didn't have to know the first game because I understood the formula of the first game. And so I got the same experience when the second game, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it does mess with your expectations. And I thought that was very interesting.
Okay. All right.
Another thing I think is very interesting about the show so far is that, we grew up in the 80s when they'd be like, it's a Punisher movie, but it was a Punisher movie in name only. It didn't have the same costume. It didn't have the same origin. It would just be like, I'm a dude with guns. They call me the Punisher. Instead of, my name is Frank Castle. My family's all been murdered by the mafia, and now I'm going on a vengeance streak. Even the Incredible Hulk, they didn't want to call him Bruce. They called him David Banner, which was kind of weird homophobic response the network had to the name Bruce. But
what? I don't remember that. The TV show, he was David Banner, not Bruce
David
Banner?
Dr. David Banner. Yeah. But anyway.
Wow. Well, I'm glad they rectified that in the movies.
Right. Well, I mean, we're also not, it's not the 70s. But I saw people doing videos on YouTube of comparison between the game and the first episode. And I was really impressed.
That would be neat. I haven't done that yet, but I would like really to see how close they are sticking to it.
What I really loved was if you can capture the spirit of something, I feel like you're already doing a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just capture the spirit, though. They were able to recreate exact sequences.
Right.
And I feel like the changes that were made were actually for the better.
Okay.
So there were a couple things that raised the tension level of the scene as opposed to what I saw happening in the video game. Because in the video game, the purpose needed to be to share a certain amount of story. You needed to get a certain amount of information out in that section.
Mm-hmm.
The show would rather you not have that information in the first place, because they've still got episodes and episodes to go. You can tell the narrative in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, they left you in the dark, kind of literally, and told the story in just a little bit different I tension so high. And so I really enjoyed that. Also, Tandy Newton's daughter, who played Sarah in the first episode, I forget what her name is, but I thought she was wonderful.
Yes.
I thought she was just wonderful.
She was really good. Did not know that she was Tandy Newton's daughter.
I mean, she stole the woman's face. Like, she looks just like her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, still doesn't matter.
Yeah. I thought they just de-aged Tandy Newton for a second.
What?
She was really good.
What I'm concerned about with them sticking to like almost literal recreations of game scenes for the show is that it's going to create a swell of people who start trashing other adaptations because it's not exactly like the game was.
I've got bad news for you, dude. That's already been happening for decades.
I know, but this is going to make it worse, don't you think?
No.
Don't you think?
No.
I mean, we were just talking about the Wheel of Time, which there were some significant changes to there. I mean, one including the age of the characters being advanced so that you could, handle the story in a different way. But
I think the problem ends up. Go ahead, finish the thing.
No, you go.
Are you sure?
Yep.
No, because I think what you're going to add is actually going to help what I'm going to say.
I don't know. I've lost my train of thought now. Okay. So
I think the Wheel of Time. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think it missed the spirit of the Robert Jordan books in the first place.
How do you know? How can you say that when you didn't read them? What do you know about the spirit of the Robert Jordan books? I didn't read them either, so I just enjoyed the show for what it was. I am basing outrage that so many people had. Like, oh, they're not this and that, and
I am basing that on what was coming through in the complaints about the show, because the complaints about the show.
Jeff read the Robert Jordan Wheel of Time books.
I know he did. I know
many of them at least. I don't know if he read all 87.
And then Brandon Sanderson.
I think they got a lot of things right.
Well, Jeff, I agree with you, but you're also
author Jeff Garvin thinks that they got it right. So non-author Curtis Anderson, who didn't even read the books, maybe you should shut up.
I am distilling.
Your opinion is invalid.
From everything that's going on, But when we look at when we talk about fandoms,
he quit at page 97. Apparently,
quit at 97.
Yeah,
book 97, page 97.
I'm going to say page 97. He didn't identify it.
He did not. We're going to go with page 97.
Couldn't even get through 100 pages.
Yeah, wow, couldn't be that good. Then.
That's rough. That is rough.
Book 97.
You can't roll it back, Jeff.
No, it's too late, buddy.
It's too late. It's out there.
You quit on 97.
It's out there.
We said it on video.
Ugh, he says.
There's expectation And then there's how all those things unfollow. Thanks, Jeff. You can't unfollow. You're part of the channel.
He's I think he just quit then. He's quiet quitting.
He's pretty loud about it in the chat. Now I've lost my train of thought because we were tormenting. But the point is, I think that expectation plays into a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Of course.
And fandoms will regularly disappoint themselves with their own expectations.
Yes.
If you're not willing to be open to something, but then also, like, Iron Man was not a direct adaptation of the Iron Man comic books, but what it did really well was take the core spirit of the Iron Man character and turn that into a really solid superhero movie.
Right. That's kind of how I feel about a show like The Witcher, which,
no pun intended,
got a lot of flack for various changes. And I don't know how important those really are. Granted, I have not read the novels yet. I own almost all of them, but haven't gotten around to reading them yet. I have played the entire video game trilogy. So I've got that story experience. Now I don't know how diverse those are from the novels. How much of those
first? Where did the IP originate?
It's a book series first from Poland.
Okay.
Neat. That made its way here in the 90s, maybe? I don't know. I don't even know when it got US rights. But anyway, it was novels first. I think also maybe I benefit from forgetting a lot. Like, I'll experience a story and I'll go, wow, that was really cool. Moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And then there's an adaptation and I read that or I watch that and I'll go, wow, that was really cool. Yeah. Without comparing. That was really cool, but it wasn't exactly like the thing I read. So I'm going to give it 1 star on Amazon.
I gave myself a real complex in 1990 when Jurassic Park came out. And I was determined to remember the book versus the movie.
Oh God!
And so I read the book every time I saw the movie. So I read the book first, saw the movie, read the book again, saw the movie again. I read that book 4 times because I saw the movie 4 times.
That's weird. You and I saw that movie many times in the theaters. I remember sitting out in front of the United Artists.
But I got real fast at reading that book.
Well, once you read it once, you can kind of flip through the pages because especially if you've read it that many times, you kind of remember what's going on. But the book is so incredibly different from the movie, but the movie is divine.
Yes.
And so is the book. So that is a perfect example of taking the spirit of a story and treating it 2 different ways, both in a wonderful manner.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember how many people slagged Jurassic Park the film because it wasn't exactly like
I don't remember anybody doing that, but the internet wasn't a thing.
It wasn't the internet. There was no internet yet. So we don't know. Certainly nobody in our circle of friends was like, well, Ian Malcolm.
Actually, no, that was me. I was like, Ian Malcolm died in that book. Why isn't he dead in this movie? What's going on?
Because then he could be in the second movie.
And then he didn't die.
Then he could be in the second.
Like in the books, though, eventually.
Oh, I know. Then Crichton retconned that.
Yeah. He was like, what do you mean we got Jeff Goldblum? We better fix this.
And you know what? It's weird. I did have a problem with that.
Yeah.
It had he written The Lost World and
Jeff has so much to say about Jurassic Park.
What's he saying?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I think what we got Wheel of Time got right is gender flipped power dynamic and the character relationships.
Sure.
Agree on forgetting 30 years between book and show. Yeah. Gave you dino damage so much. Let me on your show.
Let me on your show.
I'm driving to Burbank now. We only have the room to 6:30, Jeff.
And if you leave now, traffic is going to take you until like 7.
Yeah.
And I've got to meet. I am becoming television's Curtis Anderson again, so I've got other meetings while I'm here in town.
Oh, are you leaving immediately to go do something?
I don't have to run right away, but I do have to connect with some people and make some things happen.
Fine.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Fine.
But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now what?
That's what we're hyped about.
That is what we're hyped about. We're hyped about The Last of Us.
I'm really excited to. I'm really excited about being able to see episode 2.
It's a good adaptation.
Yeah.
I the one complaint that I've seen is Ellie, Bella Ramsey. They're like, well, she doesn't look like Ellie in the video game. Yeah, neither does Pedro Pascal look like this bearded old white dude from the. He's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So calm down, man. What? Just watch the show.
Just let it be good.
Bella Ramsey is a good actress.
Yeah.
Let her play the role.
And there were so many
Don't
times.
be like, oh, she doesn't look like Ellen Page, which is that's what in the game people said that she looked like. Actually, Ellen Page sued Naughty Dog, I think.
Something
or
like
at
that,
least
because
at least
Johnson
had harsh
was the voice, right?
At least had harsh words for Naughty Dog. And Naughty Dog went, well, but we tried to make her look like Ashley Johnson, a young Ashley Johnson, who was the voice of Ellie. And I don't think that was really.
I always thought.
I thought she looked a lot more like Ellen Page than she looked like.
Wasn't Ellen Page
Ashley Johnson,
like No Rain or that other noir game?
I know what you're talking. Two Souls.
Two Souls.
Twin Souls.
Yeah.
Two Souls.
I feel like I've got
same game designer as Heavy Rain.
That's it. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And then they made David Cage. I don't want to say. Is that
I honestly
his name?
don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like we're just getting distracted at this point.
Jeff detracted his own message.
I know, right? At least you could still see his chats after the fact, though. Remember the one time I retracted my message during MechWarrior 5 and
you locked yourself
somehow
out.
Locked myself out?
That's right.
Stupid. Anyway, so I'm really excited to see how this goes. I'm really excited to see where it's going. I can't
I'm watching episode 2 tonight.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same.
Tonight.
I think I'll do the same thing.
Yeah. John was very disappointed in me when we were at Disneyland yesterday because he thought he wanted to talk about it while we're in line for 45 minutes to, do web slingers.
Cool.
But that part would have pissed off all the people that were in line with us who hadn't watched it yet. So,
come say, come saw. What you gonna do?
Dirty looks.
So, what are you hyped about? Are you watching The Last of Us? Let us know in the comments. Or
if you're not, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the showrunners is the guy who made Chernobyl, and that was really good.
Is that right?
Yeah. So which is why I think it has such a kind of end of the world vibe to it. I mean, besides being end of the world,
he probably got a lot of the production design team from that show maybe to work on that. So they're like, oh well, we'll just do this again.
Yeah, make it happen.
We got the vibe. We know how to make stuff look dirty and post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
but now with mushroom zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff can't watch this show.
No, he's not going to watch. Jeff, are you watching?
Are you watching The Last of Us?
The Last of Us, and if you're not, because I just said mushroom zombie, are you going to not watch it now?
Yeah, that's possible. We'll find out. Possible for our audience. Jeff has an irrational fear of zombies, so if you really want to bug him on the socials, make sure you send him as many zombie gifts as possible. And Jeff,
now he's going to unfollow.
Right? He's going to private all of this stuff. And that is what we're hyped about.
Yay.
Dan?
Yes, Curtis.
We did a freaking live show.
Yeah.
We did a freaking live show.
In less than an hour and 15 minutes even.
Which is
really
kind of shocking for us because we've been running for an hour and a half.
We're on point. I think maybe what it was that because we knew we could edit, we weren't as on point. But now because we know...
Well, there's also... We can normally do a slideshow.
Jeff is watching.
We've got our bumpers.
He'll be offering me constructive criticism on my performance today.
That's true. That's true.
Because he is also an actor.
Yes. But
as are you, but I don't care about your opinion. So I do. I'm kidding.
It's too late. It's too late. It's all
nice
really
shirt, by the way.
Thank you very much. This is from 1997 when I used to, but it actually fits better now.
Yeah.
Did you get a feather on me? Because earlier I was with a bird.
It may have been that.
Yeah.
A feather. It looked like a little fuzzy of some kind.
Because as is the case, sometimes weird things happen in Hollywood. Yeah.
And yours involved a bird.
It did involve a bird.
A bird attack, perhaps?
No, it sat gently and
it landed on you. Bird landed on you. It
actually crawled up my arm.
What?
And then climbed.
Whose bird was this?
It was a parrot.
A pet bird?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like some pigeon.
It wasn't like a pigeon.
Random feral rabid pigeon.
It's a cockatoo.
Came. Okay.
Cockatoo.
That's less exciting than a random pigeon attack.
Tomorrow, Vampire Wednesday.
Oh.
Right? We have Vampire tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got Vampire tomorrow, Friday.
Thursday, Friday. Yeah. I don't remember what happens in tomorrow's episode.
Well, I'm really excited because every episode has been action-packed lately, and we've been really moving the story forward. And I mean, if you haven't been watching Vampire, now is the time. Now is the time to get on board this train because things are happening, and it'll get you excited to watch. Also, Dan is going to eat somebody. Come on, you got to do it. You got it. It's worth so much XP.
I'm challenging myself. I'm challenging myself to not do it. I want to beat the game. This is hard mode. You beat the game without mesmerizing a citizen and consuming them for their tasty experience points.
Lord, it
hard
is
mode.
Crazy. You get as much XP out of one citizen as you do out of like 3 days of playing that game.
Yeah, but look what happened. Look, you kill the civilian.
Yeah,
and then you just wreck.
You are a vampire.
And
look what happened. You didn't even eat the ones you could have eaten before, and then they turned into skulls and werewolves anyway.
That was a learning experience.
One of them became a pry-win, and then you had to kill him anyway.
I feel really bad about Sean Hampton.
You have murdered
really bad about Sean
3
Hampton.
people that were important to their communities, and you could
the
have
Paxton sisters were not important. They were They were not.
Wow.
They were not. They were drags against their community. In fact.
Okay. I get it.
That's my.
Anyway, if you want to be able to get in on this conversation and tell Dan how much he should be mesmerizing and eating other citizens of Victorian era London, please give it a check. It'll start tomorrow, go through the rest of the week. Of course, we've got Mech Warrior Monday on Monday, where we keep doing our live chats, and that community is growing pretty well. Really enjoy having those conversations with y'all.
Yeah. Cool.
Tabletop Tuesday. Next week. We should have another episode of Tabletop Tuesday.
I don't know.
I don't know when we're going to.
Where are you going to be? You're going to be home.
I will be home.
You'll be back home. So
we should be able to record one. I just got to be able to edit it and get it out.
Yeah, I don't know. It just depends on what's going on with my apartment.
Yeah.
Can I live in my apartment again? I don't know.
Or Jeff may get his wish, and we'll let him.
Okay, so you and Jeff will be on an episode of Table. Jeff will be a replacement host for next week.
A guest host. Maybe
permanent. It might be permanent replacement.
I don't know. I feel like this went really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Also, could this be the opening salvo of streaming Mech Warrior 5?
We don't have any way of switching cameras live.
We do with OBS. I could show you how that works in this.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know. I think it's.
But if you would like to see Mech Warrior 5 streaming, nothing like Sapphire under somebody's butt, like the public's desire. So check out the links in the doobly-doo. Follow us on the Instagrams and the Tiki Detox, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Why are we on TikTok?
Because it's actually drawing in the youth. And quite frankly, our demographic honestly is old men. So it wouldn't hurt to have a couple 13 to 16-year-olds. But
you just offended our entire demographic.
I don't think so. I don't think the entire demographic. I think they get it. I think they know. They would also like to see younger people playing games, I think. Like their kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Get your kids involved. Anyway, that's enough for this show. Thank you so much for joining us live. Now we're going to go shopping and see if we can't get Dan a wet palette. Have a good afternoon.